post. Good morning, Facebook. How are you? Good to see you. Good morning, TikTok. Jump on in. Hold on just a second. So, yes. Anyway, so good morning. Good to see you guys. I had a lovely weekend. Did you guys have a lovely weekend? I would love to know about your weekend. Where are you tuning in from, by the way? Where are you tuning in from? That would be a wonderful thing to know. And so I'm in Minnesota, and we are, we had such an amazing weekend. So it got really hot in Minnesota, and this is a really big deal because we don't get that really steamy, hot for very long periods of time. And so we want to be warm. I do. Not everybody agrees with me. That's okay. You don't have to. I want to be warm to my bones because in the wintertime, oftentimes we feel like we are cold to our bones. So I hope you had a really good weekend. And, I love this middle of July. I'm such a summer girl. So I've got my pink on today. I just love summer. So, yeah, anyway, it was a great weekend. Had so many good things happening. We actually started this is a total side note, and then I'll jump into content here. Total side note, we're starting a 3-day Christmas in July in our business team Facebook group. And so last night I was doing a sugar-free chocolate pudding recipe because last night was losing weight through the lens of insulin resistance. That's what I talk about all day, every day, blah, blah, blah. And, over the weekend, if you missed my live on TikTok, I actually did a live on Saturday morning and I made egg white bread. And then on Sunday morning, I went live at 10 a.m. And what did we do? I made another loaf. I made 2 loaves this weekend. Do you understand what a big accomplishment that is? I usually don't take the time to do that. So anyway, I did insulin resistance last night. And then tonight we're actually doing, I have a cosmetologist that's going to be talking about gua sha lymphatic drainage and skincare and why she says no to other skincare lines that are more expensive and chooses this one that's less expensive and clean. And then you can learn some skills. Anyway, that's a side note. If you would like to get into that group, it's a totally different one. It's not Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can message me in my inbox, like on Instagram or my messenger in Facebook, and you can let me know you'd like the link to that particular group. It's a very small group that is now growing. And then tonight's gua sha lymphatic drainage. Tomorrow night is this is not obviously the Ditch Insulin Resistance conversation. It's actually sourdough for people who are gluten-free or, they need a better gut health option. Okay, getting into content for you guys today. Good morning, Anne. And again, I know I've said it before, but my middle name is spelled the exact same way. So that's very nice. And I have a friend and her name is spelled with an E also. So it's very unusual to see that. Good morning, Magda. Happy Monday. Going to try the pudding today. Yes, you're looking forward to tonight. I know. It's really, yeah. Edutainment is what we call it. There might be a little bit of entertainment. It's all in the eye of the beholder. So you just kind of have to decide for yourself. Arkansas. Oh, it's hot. Heat index kind of hot. Ugh, I bet it is so hot down there. Toronto, New Jersey, California, New York, Indiana. What was the song? We all learned it in elementary school. Come on. Didn't we all learn it? Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas. How does that go? Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California, Colorado. No. God darn. I want to know the song if I knew the name of it, but then it says Gary, Indiana. Anyway. All right. Well, there you go. That's my singing for the day. That's all you're going to get. Okay. Arizona, yay. We were in Arizona, Phoenix, 2 years in a row. Really, really fun. Completely opposite of Minnesota, obviously, right? And so it's wonderful because we really do like palm trees. We like to migrate to places that have palm trees. In fact, I usually have a picture of something with palm trees up around me just because that's my destination of choice. Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. Yes. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Indiana, Illinois, Indiana. Anyway, we all learned the song. We all learned the song. The 50 states that rhyme. Yes, yes, yes. I know. You guys, is it called the 50 states that rhyme? Is it, I don't have a device that I can pull it up on. Shoot. That's okay. You're so funny. Come on, this is how we learn. So then what happened was, little known fact about me, maybe not so little, I don't know. I homeschooled for 20 years. Now, I didn't plan on homeschooling for 20 years, but it just happened. But we realized that attaching things to music was such a fantastic way, as we can see, we're all like proof of that pudding. We all know that when you do have a song like that, for the most part, unless you're tired like me from sitting in the sun yesterday, I was at a pool party yesterday, and I'm telling you, I literally woke up this morning, I'm like, wow, I'm tired, because the sun kind of takes it out of you. So I'm like, honey, what's the the code for your phone? So no wonder I can't remember the song. Hi, Cheryl, Julie, I know. Yep. Okay, good. All right, so that is a song I know. Different melody that you are singing, same words. Yeah, I know, but it's very helpful. So there you go. You learn through music, and then it kind of stays in your brain. And one last thing is, I saw a TikTok. Now you have to understand, my mom had dementia, right? So we took care of her 5 years, and music was such a big deal for her. And I like talking about dementia in general. This is not a dementia topic today, but I do, because it like insulin resistance, type 3 diabetes, insulin resistance of the brain. He has dementia, and he's sitting in a wheelchair. I don't know, have y'all seen this one? And he was an opera singer. I assume he was a well-known opera singer. I don't know. And with my mom, she was not an opera singer, but we would put on the old hymns. Like, she loved any hymn. So we listened to, because she lived with my sister and then she lived with me. So we sang, or we listened to a lot of Gaither vocal band, a lot of the Gaithers with my mom, and we would put it on, and she would sit there and sing. She didn't really sing on key anymore, even though she used to be a good singer, but she would sing to the music, because that she could remember. She might not remember who you are, but she'll remember the music. So this guy is an opera singer, and he's sitting in his wheelchair, and somebody came in, and I don't know if it was a relative or if it was a volunteer that just happened to sing opera. She began to sing, and he immediately sang with her in harmony. It's so cool. It's on TikTok somewhere. Like, if you see that, it's really, really good. But anyway, I love that. So there you go. Learn something today through music, and you'll remember it forever. That's my tip for today. So in talking about insulin resistance and why does it keep you fat? Why is there this connection that we just don't understand? And I just am telling you, like, I'm so convinced, because when I went through it in my 40s, and I recognized that insulin, I did not recognize anything about insulin in my 40s. But when I was gaining weight in my 40s, and I was beginning to then turn that around, because my dad, he died of type 2 diabetes at 63. He was insulin dependent. He was putting injections into his belly twice a day. Terrible health, stuff. I posted a reel this morning, and I said, well, maybe I won't remember what I said exactly, but in the caption, my adaptogenic herbs are kicking in right now, and I'll have mental clarity really fast. And so basically, I'm saying, like, why is this so hard if this is not a terminal diagnosis? Why is this so hard for us to, like, be given this information, right? So I'm in my 40s, and I'm gaining weight, more weight than I already was. I should pull out pictures, but anyway, more weight than I already was. And through my process of beginning to turn around my insulin resistance, I talk about targeted supplements. I talk about that in food. And as I start that process, and I begin to turn things around, and I begin to go, like, why did that work? Why did the trio work inside of my body? There are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. But why did that work? Like, I had no knowledge. So once I understood the connection of the insulin is a hormone, I went, oh my gosh, how many women do I know that are hitting their 40s, they're insulin resistant? Just like me, they're totally clueless. Like they don't have a clue. Like, why would they even think that? Why? This isn't a conversation that we're having when we go to our provider. Well, Tracy, insulin is a hormone. So all of your other hormones are kind of wacky. So it makes sense. But who is having that conversation? If they are, you are blessed. Don't leave your doctor. Like stay with them, because most people are not having that conversation. They're just telling you it's just a part of aging. It's just what it is. And then they'll tell you that your blood glucose levels are fine because they're not pulling a fasting insulin. And then you'll be gaining weight and you're wondering why you're gaining weight. It's a whole thing. I'm going to plug in my phone here. Hold on. So anyway, so I want to talk about that today just to give some clarity and then give you guys some direction, give you a completely different track to run on. Like that's the whole point of this. If I get a chance, will I talk about the supplements that are safe for IR while pregnant? Yeah, Anne, that's a really good question. I'm almost positive. So my daughter just had 3 babies. They're all 18 months apart. Bam, bam, bam. And she navigated with pretty much everything. The only thing that she pulled, and she had to use them for insulin resistance because she had gallstones. And did you know that gallstones are coming from high estrogen or high cortisol or high insulin? And she had all 3. So she ended up with gallstones, and they told her to get her gallbladder. I'm just plugging in my phone, you guys. And they told her to obviously have surgery, or that was recommended by people. And she went, no, I'm not going to do that because I am pregnant. I'm sorry, Instagram. I'm going to turn you up. I have to do my phone. You can look at my ceiling for just a second. There you go. I know it is what it is, but then now you're not low juice. And so she was saying that basically, oopsie, she was saying that basically she, funny. She was saying basically that when somebody gave her information on her gallstones, that she started with the digestive enzymes, and then she started using exactly what I talk about. So I don't feel like there is a problem with that, but you can go ahead and you can ask your doctor. I've even had people bring supplements, like they'll grab the trio and then they'll bring it to a doctor and they'll have the doctor look at it. She was going through a midwife, and she had her midwife okay everything that she was taking. So I'll just kind of like give you that. Is it still in and out on Instagram? It was because I was plugging in my phone. So let me know if it is on Instagram. So when you're talking about insulin resistance and the frustrating part of not being able to lose weight, or you're continuing to gain weight, which is where I was, it's very much because insulin is a hormone and it's a fat storing hormone. And so what happens with that is, as you continually spike your sugars, once you're insulin resistant and your door is closed to your cell, it's because you have been calling on insulin over and over and over again. And after a while, it just completely closes. Well, I mean, not forever. You can turn this back. That's the whole point. But so therefore, everything else that's extra, all the extra glucose that your body is turning food into for fuel, because that's just normal, it's going and turning into fat. So let's talk about how this happens. And then I want to give you a different track to run on. Like, let's fix things for you. And I know holidays can be hard. We just got done with 4th of July. We go into Labor Day. In Minnesota, we do a lot of camping. We do a lot of going away. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. And so it's like, I understand going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's frustrating. So hold on. Okay. So why insulin resistance actually creates more fat? I think people actually need to have this answer. You need to know this. So impaired glucose uptake. When cells become resistant to insulin, which is what I was just talking about, they become resistant to insulin. Glucose remains in the bloodstream instead of being taken up for energy. So it's staying in your bloodstream, but it's not showing right away. And that's what's really messing people up, because they're giving you a blood glucose test and they're telling you that your tests are fine. They're telling you that they're fine. Let me know on Instagram if my audio is weird. If I'm going in and out, I would love to know. And I can restart it. High blood glucose levels prompted the pancreas to produce even more insulin to try to lower the blood sugar. So that's why that's happening, because it's not getting into the cell anymore. So it's going up, up, up. So your insulin is going up, up, up next to it, trying to regulate it. But insulin is a fat storing hormone. That's what its job is. That's its job. Well, its job description is actually to make sure that you don't burn anything other than sugar. That's really what its job is. However, it's a fat storing hormone, so its sub job is to store everything as fat. Okay, so she can't hear. Hold on, is that the same person? Is anybody else on Instagram that can hear me perfectly fine? I would love to know, so that I'll restart it if more than one person is having a problem. The second thing is increased insulin levels. So we just talked about increased sugar levels. And so then you increase your insulin levels. And that's where this is all happening. Julie, good, good, good. Thank you, thank you. In 90s, you went on a low-fat diet and lost your gallbladder. Ouch, Brenda. I know. I'm sorry. There were a lot of things that have happened because of that. I even think about, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, but all of the bad advice given to us through the dental industry back when I was in my 20s, because now I'm in my 50s, I'm 59. And so now then you deal with the fallout of what they were pushing back then. I'll do that another, I don't know, maybe, because I don't know if I know enough about it. I'm still researching that. So yeah, anyway. So increased insulin levels, chronic high insulin levels, insulinemia are the hallmark of insulin resistance. Insulin is a storage hormone that promotes fat storage and inhibits fat breakdown. It literally inhibits fat breakdown. And I'll give you what I do for that. Elevated insulin levels signal the body to store excess glucose as fat, particularly in adipose fat tissue. So you are definitely wanting to turn that back. Like you don't want that. You're Julie. I know. But I got you, girl. I got you. Like, I'm thankful for everybody to tell me how their audio is going. No, you're perfect. You really are. Number 3, enhanced fat storage. So insulin stimulates enzymes. Okay. So now you have high insulin and it's stimulating enzymes like lipoprotein lipase, which promotes the storage of fat in adipose tissues. So it's enhanced fat storage. It's not just basic fat storage. It's enhanced fat storage. More fat is stored in the body, leading to weight gain, particularly in the abdominal area. That's why when I talk about targeted supplements, you guys, I'm not joking. I'm not making that up. Like, let's target the area. Let's target the system that is actually underneath everything. It's the little worker bees going at it inside of your system. Your pancreas is like, I can do this. I'll just make more insulin. You just watch me because I'm like amazing. Woo! And it just keeps on making insulin because it's going to do its job. Nobody told it to not do its job. Nobody told it it's Saturday morning and you should sleep in. That's not what happens with your pancreas. Your pancreas is like, go, 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 go. And it just keeps on doing it because when it can't get insulin and sugar, glucose for fuel into your cell, when it can't do that, it thinks that it didn't make enough. Oh man, I didn't make enough. Go, 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 go. And it just keeps on making more. And this cycle is not sustainable. The way that I teach how to eat, grain-free, sugar-free, real food, that is actually extraordinarily sustainable. I know people say that that's not sustainable, but the truth is that what's not sustainable is your pancreas continuing to make insulin and going at it and being strong and I'm going to make more. It literally stops at a certain point. And that's when it tips into type 1. That's another conversation because who knew that could happen, right? It starts to tip and now you have to inject insulin. Wait a second. I thought it was producing too much. Anyway, so my dad was injecting twice a day. So that's the, that is the enhanced fat storage feature of insulin resistance. The next feature is decreased fat breakdown. High insulin levels inhibit lipolysis, the process of breaking down storage fat for energy. the body becomes less efficient and using stored fat for energy, leading to further fat accumulation. So the body becomes less efficient at using fat for energy. Okay, so it's just going to keep on the sugar train, and it's only going to want to use sugar for fuel, glucose, and it doesn't get to your fat. So you would literally have to, use your fat for energy if you want fat loss. So when you're losing weight just to lose weight, like maybe with an injection or something like that, you could be losing water, impacted waist, muscle, and that we don't want. We don't want the muscle to be lost, especially with women. This is a really big deal. Men too, don't get me wrong. I have guys that are my customers too, but with women, it's so close to my heart because of having taken care of my mom with dementia. So I'm like, you just don't understand that if you have any impaired function at all as you get older, your muscles need to be strong. Like, I've been really thinking about this a lot lately and how I need to have my husband teach me how to begin to lift heavy. Like, I need to start really lifting for my muscles, because it's just such an important feature. But anyway, so you don't want to lose that. Number 5 is, and I'll repeat these in just a second. Number 5 is increased hunger and cravings. So insulin resistance disrupts the normal regulation of hunger hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin or ghrelin, I'm not really sure. I think I'm missing stuff here. Nope, I'm good. Okay. Ghrelin or ghrelin. But this disruption can lead to increased hunger and cravings for high carbohydrate foods, contributing to overeating and weight gain. So one of them helps you with telling your body that you're full. It's a hormone. One of them tells you that you are, I'm trying to remember. One is for satiety and one is for hunger. So those 2 hormones regulate that. And what you don't know is that when your insulin is high, it's messing up all of your hormones. It's like, let's just finger paint all over your hormones. And it's all getting all messed up, right? So you have like, your cortisol is getting messed up. Your, you guys, it's all connected. Over time, as your hormones are messed up, this is why your libido gets affected. This is why you end up with a harder time in menopause. This is why you end up with, and then over time when you're on insulin and all of these pieces, and again, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to go there. I have to filter myself sometimes, but this is why men can become impotent. This is why women lose their sex drive. It's all connected because it's all hormonal. And so it is once you start to realize this and you go, wait a second, this is actually not a terminal thing. I can actually fix this. I can actually turn this around on my own. That's when you feel empowered to become your own advocate. And you can actually do this and then not have all of the negative fallout of insulin resistance run amok. Insulin resistance just, the train left the station and we're just going to keep on going. You actually can stop it. You can turn it around. And you can go the other direction. How long is it going to take you? I don't know. Do I have amazing testimonies where people are having stuff right away? Yes. I actually have a lot of them. If you're in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, if you're already in there, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, look for guide number 4. You're going to see all of the testimonies. Okay. Last night if you were on the other Facebook group where we did the Christmas in July, testimonies were coming in on the trio from people who were being on live. How do you come off of insulin injections? Well, Lisa, that is definitely a process with you and your doctor. However, you're on a very good course, right? Because you're taking action towards that. But that's right. So somebody who's on injections is in a completely different place than somebody who is, I think I might be insulin resistant because my belly's getting bigger. So there's a spectrum and you have to work within your own spectrum for sure. And I'm an Italian girl. I do not have letters after my name, right? So people do have to work with providers on it. But I'll tell you, you can still be your own advocate in all of this as you're doing it. Because if somebody's taking the trio, 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity, if somebody's taking the trio, and they text me and they tell me my morning sugars dropped by 30 points. My A1C went down from a 24 down to the 8s. I'm trying to think of what else. My A1C has dropped from, I'm trying to remember numbers right now because I don't like to give false numbers. But I have them all in my testimonials. But my A1C has dropped from this to this. I think somebody literally, it was either yesterday or the day before, 6.9 down to a 6.1. Like, we're going in the right direction. So if people are telling me this on their data, then it's a track that I already know you happen to be on, Lisa. So allow this to work. Allow this process to work for you. Couple it with being in the group in Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women so that we can talk about food and fix what got you into the pickle to begin with. And as an Italian girl, I am telling you 150 million%. If I can do this, if I, who is so emotionally connected to food, can do this, so can you. Yes, you can. This is not something that I always think in terms of, I know this may be silly, but, and then I'll keep talking about this stuff here. But if somebody in a third world country does not have access to all of the things that I have access to for food and all of the things that I love for food and all of the whatever, or they don't have access to, just first world medicine and whatever, their life is so much harder than mine. Surely I can trade out my food ingredients. Surely I can at least try a new pantry idea. And when you get into the group, we not only do we do a 5-day free challenge every single month to get you on that track, and I'll explain my whole track to you here in just a second. You will also get tagged in a PDF that's free, and it will give you pantry ideas and recipe ideas. So surely you can do that. This is really not as hard as you think it is. This is hard. Mindset can be hard. Took me a while to identify things from my childhood, sentences that were common, eat, because you're Italian, and then being pointed out, you're kind of gaining a few pounds. Yeah, you think? Because we're eating pasta and bread every time. Just saying. And then when you lose weight, you're told, don't get too skinny. So I've had to work through this stuff. You have stuff too. You just have to identify it and not let it have a hold on you anymore. But the process of supplementation and trading out food ingredients, this is actually easy. And I did this because I was taking the path of least resistance, because I was convinced, and you may be too, I was convinced I could not trade out my food. I was convinced as an Italian, what are you talking about? I'm never going to not eat this way. That's not possible. I've done it my entire life. And I didn't do anything about my ingredients until I was just shy of my 51st birthday. But I'm here to tell you, I'm 59. I'm not on any meds, no type 2 in sight. And I've gone down 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. Insulin is a hormone. So number 5 was increased hunger and cravings. I know. I get very passionate about it. And actually, I think that was the last one. So I'm going to repeat them. No, 6 was chronic inflammation. So insulin resistance is often associated with low-grade chronic inflammation. Inflammatory signals can exacerbate insulin resistance and promote further fat storage. So here are the 6 reasons. I need to make a reel on this today. Reasons why insulin resistance is creating more fat in your body. Number 1 is the impaired glucose uptake. All right. That's because your cells are resistant. So sugar's not getting into your cell and you need it into your cell. So now you're exhausted. And because your increased insulin levels, they're high. Number 2, you are the fat storing hormone. I have balloons on Instagram. So that's number 2. Number 1 is the impaired glucose uptake. Number 2 is high insulin. Number 3 is enhanced fat storage, not regular fat storage. Enhanced fat storage. Number 4 is decreased fat breakdown. So your body, again, is so wonderfully made. It knows how to break down fat, except when you're insulin resistant. It doesn't do such a good job anymore. Number 5 is hunger and cravings, because now your hormones, ghrelin, don't know, and leptin are being messed up with. And that has to do with your hunger and your satiety. So those hormones are so your signals are off. You're fritzing out. That's what's happening inside. So now you're hungry all the time and you're never feeling full. Like it's not working, right? And then number 6 is chronic inflammation. I talk about that actually a lot because I am personally convinced, and I'm not a doctor, But I'm personally convinced that my mother's insulin resistance was so bad, none of us knew it because she was Swedish. Isn't type 2 genetic? She didn't have any type 2 in her family, but I believe that her insulin resistance was so high that and she had so much inflammation. She ended up having complete hip replacements. And over time, she had 5 surgeries for her hips because things broke and stuff. And then she ended up with a knee replacement. And so all of that inflammation causing surgery and then all of that anesthesia, and she ends up with dementia. And she was a total carb addict because she had renal cancer. So she had 1 kidney removed. And when you have a kidney removed, being overweight is hard. Pick your hard. Yes, Brenda. Yes. So what happens then is you're just told that you have, I have to be careful because again, I'm not a medical professional. She was just diagnosed with arthritis. People are just diagnosed with a lot of autoimmune and stuff like that. And they can actually put it into remission according to people like Dr. Kiltz, Kilz, who uses carnivore. I'm not carnivore, but he uses carnivore for fertility patients, etc. When you fix your insulin resistance, when you turn this back around, and if it takes you a year, the time was going to pass anyway. It was going to pass anyway. Yeah, I don't know why you're missing this group. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Oh, the group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And I don't know why her audio is not okay. I think you might be the only one. I'm sorry. But the replay will be here. You can watch me on the replay. After I post this, go back and watch it on Instagram. Okay? Thank you, Lucy Lou, for sharing. I so appreciate that, you guys, on TikTok, because this kind of information is so very beneficial and helpful for so many people. Like, you guys, what if this isn't the hardest thing ever on the face of the planet to figure out? What if this is easier than you thought it was? And so I know that on TikTok, when you guys share it out, it makes such a big difference to the whole universe, right? Because it gets on the FYP. Or even if you just tap and you like it, if you keep tapping and liking something on TikTok, it makes such a big difference on other people seeing it. So I appreciate you guys a lot. I really, really do. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Watch the replay. It'll be good. You'll appreciate that. Let me see here. Okay, so basically the track that the matrix gives you, and I call it the matrix. I just have to be careful with my words a little bit, but I feel like anybody watching my content knows what I mean when I say that. So the path that they give you is that they're going to give you a food pyramid and tell you to graze on grains all day long. This is what happens when we're in school-age children. Let's go back to the state song that we were singing at the beginning of the live. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. See, do you see my adaptogenic herbs? They kicked in. I got it. So I'm just saying, like, they tell you this in elementary school, that this is how you should be eating. But then what happens is that over time, the overconsumption of carbohydrates really, 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 really messes us up. And our body can't do it anymore. And our pancreas is just going to keep on keeping on because it was really fearfully and wonderfully made, right? So then what happens is, you end up finding out your labs look fine. They look fine. They look fine. They look fine until they're not. And they say, oh, look at there. You're pre-diabetic. So you're following their recommendations of food. You end up pre-diabetic. And then they say, well, we'll just help you. Here's some scripts. That's their track. That's literally the track. So if you're on that train track and you're like, I kind of would like to switch the gear. I want to like turn that handle on the train track and I want to go in a different direction. That's the different thought process that I bring to the table. And it's just literally recreating what I did. I didn't do it because I was smart. I didn't do it because anybody told me to. I did it because I was on my own journey. I started out of fear because of my father's death when I was 30. And here I am in my 40s. Did I say simply slim something? Tell me what you think, but what you mean by that. Reiterate, and I will answer. And so I started with, I was just afraid. I I knew that my dad, he had sores that wouldn't heal. I knew that my dad, he drank all the time and he peed all the time. And so my mom was really putting that fear into me in my 40s because my weight was going off the rails, and she could see the writing on the wall. And because he had died 15 years earlier, she's like, seriously, Kirsten, what is wrong with you? And so I started to pay attention to, if I ever had a sore, things like that. So I didn't know what to do. Nobody told me. I just, by myself, secretly in my head, I chose to start with supplements because I did it because I was a total wuss. I don't know how else to say that. Like, I wasn't going to take on this big path of a food program. I wasn't going to take on this. I was just going to quietly take my supplements because that was easy. Take a pill, right? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a magic pill, blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out, I'm not going to call them that. That's not fair, right? And I can't make claims, but I can tell you that when you do simple things, like this is science, you fill in nutritional deficiencies with trace minerals and you use things to help your body naturally detoxify and move. Remember when I said on here, when we were talking about how fat loss is enhanced, fat storage is enhanced and fat breakdown is diminished when you're insulin resistant. Fat storage is enhanced. It's not regular fat storage. It's enhanced fat storage. And then fat loss, fat breakdown for fuel is diminished. It goes down. So this is why there's this hamster wheel. So you actually can do stuff to help pieces of your body. So you may or may not know that your liver is your fat, is your organ that literally helps you to burn fat, helps you to break down fat. That's the better way to say it because it helps you to break down fat. It's your fat metabolizing organ. And with the level of fatty liver that we have, how many of you think that maybe your liver needs a little help? I mean, that's super, super common. Thank you for sharing. The new food pyramids that you're seeing have been tweaked. They've changed the name. Oh, Magda. I would love to know more about that. I would love to know about that because we're definitely products of what we were taught, aren't we? Like from when we were in school. It's ridiculous. Simply Slim Group. No. Excuse me. Ditch insulin resistance for women. Thank you for asking. Ditch insulin resistance for women. That's the group. So their track, you have fatty liver. Yes. This is very common. 50 years ago, only alcoholics had fatty liver. Now it is extremely highly prevalent. Did they have coffee down there? Thank you. He brought me coffee. That's so nice. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks. And so it's my hubby. So when you have a liver that is tired and toxic, whether it's from dieting, over-the-counter meds, prescription meds, seed oils, high fructose corn syrup that can only be metabolized by the liver, like our liver takes a beating and it tries to keep on going. But when it can't, you lose the ability to lose weight. So now you have your insulin is messing up all your hormones, including the hormones that govern how hungry you are and how full you are. Your liver is being affected because, like she just said, fatty liver, super common. So what if you could turn that back around? What if you could begin that process? You'll look it up and let me know. Thank you, Magda. I appreciate that. I would really like to know that. That would be very helpful. Is the Ditch group on Facebook? It is, Renee. Thank you for asking. It is. And I will show you this. I was on TikTok the last couple of days, so I usually have my phone available to show people things. I'll see if I have a picture. If you go to on Instagram, my site is at the top of the Instagram page. It is also on TikTok. It's my first last name.com, kirstenliebelt.com. Go there. It's one page. And if you scroll up like this so that you can see down below, you'll see a Facebook blue button. And you can click on there and get in. That's the easiest way to get in for you guys. Just go to kirstenliebelt.com, look for the Facebook blue button and you can get in that way. Okay. And just tell them Kirsten sent you, and then you'll get tagged eventually. I have a lot of people that need to get tagged right now. So just be patient. You'll get tagged in a PDF. It's free. Okay. Recipes and pantry ideas. So, and big belly, gain 20 pounds and you don't know what to do. Yep. That's literally, oh, you guys, I need to figure out how to have my testimonies available for you. That's literally what I talk about and teach and help people with. And I teach two things and two things only. I teach targeted supplementation, and I'm just going to show them to you. This is where I started over a decade ago, but we're talking about help with insulin levels, sugar levels, liver detoxification, the visceral belly fat, metabolism, all of the pieces of this system that you're trying to get going again. That's what I'm talking about. And the testimonies are amazing. When you get in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, go immediately to guide number 4. Over 50 testimonies that you can filter through right now. Just go through the testimonies and get your heart encouraged. And the testimonies are about these 3 right here. That's what every single one of those testimonies is. And then on the other side, because this is my track is let me teach you how to target supplements, how to change out your ingredients, and then how to sustain this. So I do a challenge, a 5-day challenge at the beginning of every single month. So you can get equipped and encouraged, you can get tools in your toolbox, and you can win the month. And then we'll do it again in August. We just finished July's, and it's pinned to the top in the featured section. But then we'll do it again in August. And then you can do the same thing. You can get encouraged. You take your targeted supplements, you get encouraged, you get tools in your toolbox, you take on the month of August, and then we'll do it again in September. And then we'll do the exact same thing. We'll just keep on rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, so that you have a completely different experience. But what I'm telling you is the testimonies, they're also at the top of Instagram page in a pink highlight bubble, at the top of Instagram. They are Good Morning Movie Mama. Good to see you. Good to see you. They are, it's a constant stream of people. I was stuck and I just lost 7 pounds, 5.5 pounds, 14 pounds, 25 pounds, because when your insulin and your sugars finally come down, you can finally lose weight. But you're doing so much more. You don't even know. You don't even understand what you're doing for your liver, your visceral belly fat. You just don't even know what you're doing for your system. Because if I just teach you science all the time, I think you'll get bored. I don't know. If you're a sciencey person, if you're a geek like me and you get into the Facebook group, I do have a masterclass on these 3 that I did in December. It's about an hour long, and I will explain this all in detail. If that's the kind of person you are, then we just became best friends. And you can go watch that. And that's free, whatever. Can you combine the supplements with calorie deficit to lose weight? Yeah, Anne, but really what I teach, you just joined. Yay. Okay, good. Very good. And you're 62. Debbie, I'm so glad. I really am, because I'm going to be able to help you compress time and figure this out. And you can literally watch last week's 5-day challenge. It's pinned to the top in the featured section. You can go to guide 4 and you can see all of the testimonies that just got pinned in there last week. Most of them are from January 1st. Get yourself encouraged. If you need the sciencey part of this, the trio, go watch the masterclass. There's enough to keep you busy for a half a minute while you understand. So, and to answer your question, the calorie deficit, calories do matter, absolutely, but they're just not the sole conversation. So that's why living in a calorie deficit only doesn't work anymore. It might have worked maybe when you were in your 30s, or maybe it works and you lose muscle. That's even a worse scenario. We don't want that. So instead, getting your body to function at a higher level from the inside out, then what I teach is high protein, way high. I teach basically a whole food keto, but not the fad keto, high protein, moderate, really good fats. Keep your hormones and your brain happy. Your brain is made up of cholesterol. Like your body, your hormones need cholesterol. That's why when you start taking down your cholesterol with an STATIN, oftentimes it creates sadness. You know, the sadness that starts with the letter D. And then you get put on an anti-sadness pill. Your hormones cannot handle that low cholesterol. They weren't meant to. It's very, very, very sad that this is what we're doing. And we're affecting our hormones. We're affecting our ability to be happy. We're affecting our brains. I've had enough dementia in my life. I'm done now, right? Like no more. So yeah, you're 66 and you can't lose weight. Yep. You guys, this is literally the conversations. I will get off here now today and I will spend my day in my DMs chatting with y'all about what it is that you're trying to fix. And you can say to me, I was on your live and you talked about the trio. Will you send me a cart? Will you send me a cart with these 3 in them so that I can look at them? And then some people will say, will you add in the turmeric? Because the truth is that you have high inflammation in your body. And a lot of you are like, my inflammation is out of control and I don't know what to do. And some people will say, will you put in the ashwagandha? Because your cortisol is so high, you can't see straight. I'm just telling you, like, this is literally what I do. This is my full-time gig, right? And then the other thing is, some of you will ask me for the carb blocker because you're mitigating your carbs. Like I did. It took me 3 to 4 years to stop having carb blockers in my pockets. It's just what it is. It took me a while because I was dealing with this. And it's okay. Have grace for yourself, will you? Have a little bit of patience. I'm a very high personal responsibility person, but what if it's not your fault? What if you're just getting really bad information and you're being told, you know what? Listen, you can spend $1,000 on a shot a month. You can do that because their answer is going to be PHA every time, all day, every day, because that's a thing, right? We know this. Or you can be told to be put on MET, and you're not going to have an opportunity to turn back. Potentially, no claims, but I have people blood pressure down, A1C down, weight down, sugars down, blood glucose, like just morning sugars, liver better, all of these things. I had a couple of, I should have screenshotted them. I think I was just in too much of a hurry this morning, but I actually did to turn that off. I think I froze there just for a second. Yeah, I just froze there for a second, Instagram. I had an alarm because I have an appointment coming up here. Couple of different testimonies came into me this morning already. Actually, no, one was yesterday, and she said, I need to screenshot it and put it up in my stories, and then I'll put it in the highlight bubble of Instagram. And she said, I just wanted you to know I started back up on the supplements and I've lost this. So this was yesterday. So 6 days, she said, I've lost 5 pounds in the last 6 days. She got back on her food track. She started her supplements up again. I get it. Listen, you're me. I'm you. I know what it's like. You get lazy with your routine, or you just, it was the 4th of July. You're just like, just let me be whatever for a minute. And you stop taking your supplements. I get this. And you have to get back on. Why do you think I do a challenge at the beginning of every single month? Because this is a sustainable track. Let's take down July right now. Then let's take down August. Then let's take down September. Then let's take down August or October. I'm not going backwards. No, I'm not. But you understand. So I just really, really, really am very passionate about this. There's no gimmick here. These are literally supplements out of a supplement line that I've used for a really long time. And it just so happens that God gave us answers. So there's no marketing present here. There's no, this hasn't been packaged. This is just me telling you, this is how you literally can help your internal system flip itself. And how long will it take? I can't answer that for you. Some people have really fast results. Some people have a lot of healing to do. My dad did it all. He went all the way to dialysis and death at 63. He went all the way. Turning him around once he was on dialysis was, I don't know. I don't know what that would have looked like. He kind of started to a little bit because he changed his food out and he was able to stop taking his blood pressure med for a half a minute. But things take time. So I need you to have grace for yourself and choose to do things without shame. Don't shame yourself. You cannot heal a body in shame. You have to stop being so hard on yourself. Maybe you just didn't know insulin was a hormone. Maybe you just didn't know it was turning up the entire wheelbarrow of hormones. Maybe you just didn't know that that included your cortisol and that included your hunger hormone and your satiation, your satiety. That's really the word, hormone. And you just didn't know that. It's okay. Like, we can still take back our bodies and become our own advocates and do things for ourselves. And then we can literally change out an ingredient one at a time, change out our pantries and shift our course. And in the end, because we feel better, we can do more. And because we can do more, we can make more memories. If I can be on the floor with my grandbabies and take pictures with them and love on them and get on their level and play with them, that's my success. That's my victory story. I'm 59. I'm not on any meds, no type 2 in sight, never will, because I know how it happens. And I don't ache, because that's another one of the benefits of turning around your insulin resistance. Inflammation. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Where can you hear the whole story from beginning? Diane, do you mean my story? Maybe you mean my story. I don't know. I'm trying to think. As you're saying that, I'm thinking, where's my full story in one shot? I have so much in my content. I tell my story over and over and over again. Go to my site. This is the short version. Go to my site, kirstenliebelt.com. The first thing that you will see is you'll see a number of digits. I have to be careful on TikTok, where you can message me this way. You can type and message me, hey, I was on your live and you were talking about the trio. Will you send me a cart? Will you tell me, like, I need to see the trio, those 3 supplements. And then I also need to see like, whatever, the turmeric or the ashwagandha, the carb block, whatever it is. And actually the last one I'm going to tell you before, and then I have to jump to my meeting. Because we talked about enhanced fat. It inhibits enhanced fat loss. It enhances the inability to lose fat. Hold on. Insulin resistance enhances fat storage and inhibits the ability to break down fat. So there is one other thing that I do take for that, but on my site, kirstenliebelt.com, under the digits number or button that you see where you can text me, go down and the first button is my message to you. And it's maybe 5 minutes, my story. Go look there. But otherwise, my content in general, I just really do share a lot of pieces all the time to my story, because it's just very impacting. It impacted my life. It's all I knew. All I knew was being Italian, obesity, and type 2. It's all I knew. And then all I knew was my grandpa Fergali, blind in a wheelchair from type 2. He was an immigrant from Italy. And my dad being sick for the last 10 years of his life and then dying at 63. Hospitalization, dialysis, that was his entire life. Very, very like that. That's all I know. Right. So that's why I talk about it all the time. The last one I will do that, Diane. The last one I'm going to tell you is this one. You take 2 of these 3 times a day. Now, this isn't for everybody. This may not be for you. Okay. On my website, you'll see it, or I can add it to your cart, or you can search it once I send you a trio cart. It's called Lean Muscle. Okay. So look that up on my website. It actually has, it will help you maintain lean muscle, but it also helps you to break down fat. So it's a fat metabolizer. Okay. I'm not going to use the word burner because that's really kind of incorrect, but it's a it helps you to metabolize fat. Anyway, and it may not be for everybody. And the reason why I say that is because that I'm trying to think of what that price point is. That price point is higher than the other ones, but you take 2 of them 3 times a day, and I'm telling you, it really helps. I'm just telling you. But anyway, okay. So I'm going to run to my meeting, but you guys have been amazing. And I can see people asking for the trio in TikTok. You guys, you have to jump over to Instagram and get into my DMs there. I forgot to say that because I can't send things in TikTok. It just is what it is. Instagram, you're fine. You can get into my inbox there. But if you put something here right now, I won't see it once I post it. So wait till I post. And then Facebook, you're perfect. You can put stuff in the comments. You can get into my messenger. You can do all the things, and it's great. And then YouTube, you can also comment. So, all right. Have a super blessed day, you guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And in the meantime, I'll be in my messages talking to you and helping you to customize what it is you need for yourself so that you do not purchase what you don't need, but you do get exactly what you do need. And then we'll get you in the group and we'll get you started. So bye, Movie Mama. Bye, Cheryl. Instagram account is Kirsten Liebelt. Kirsten Liebelt. KIRSTEN. LIE, lie, and a belt you put around your waist. KIRSTEN, lie, like you tell a lie, and belt that you put around your waist. Have a great day. You guys are amazing. See you later. You're welcome, Debbie. You're welcome. Love you guys. We always have so much fun. Thank you. See you later. I have to touch all the buttons. Have a good day, you guys.